Hi everyone, this is Paris Debono of the Fortune Teller Shop, and I have been a professional fortune teller now since 1990. I first fell in love with tarot cards back then, and since then I've always had them by my side, and they've helped me through my life, and they've also helped me to be successful and create a career that I love.
So one of the elements of being a professional fortune teller is that you have to deal with the public. So you're getting all sorts of people coming to you for readings, and some of them, in my case, walk past my shop and they might think it's a great idea to get a fun reading. Other people have been referred to me. Other people find me on the internet. They just might be Googling and they come across my website and they decide to get a reading. So in the customer service industry, when we're dealing with public, as most of you who have worked with public may know, it's not always easy. Sometimes we get difficult clients, and this can happen in any type of public relations and also public service industry, whether you work in a restaurant, whether you work in any type of interaction with the public. So I wanted to get some people's opinions and experiences about working with the public. So I asked my tarot group on Facebook a question. I asked them to share their experiences, and I asked them, the question was, sure, I would love to read your cards for you after you just insulted me. So I wanted my fellow tarot readers in my tarot group to share their experiences about clients or people who insult them, and then expect a really fantastic reading after they've just been insulted. And these are some of the responses. Our first insult is from Sonia. She says, me. I was a non-believer. I used to drink and insulted a friend saying, F off, a card with a picture on it can't tell me my life. Now I practice read for the same woman. How wrong was I? Tarot now is my life. Yes, so I think we all started as non-believers. So I remember also being a non-believer. I actually went to my very first tarot reading probably in my late teens, and a friend of mine was going to a fortune teller, and I said to my friend, she told me that she's going with her sister, and I said to my friend, oh, you don't believe in that stuff, do you? That's all just like bullshit, isn't it? And my friend, she said, no, it's there's some real truth to it. Some of the stuff that you get from a reading really makes sense, and it's true. And I said, can I come and watch? I wanted to go and see what the fortune teller or the tarot card reader did. I was really scared as well. I remember sitting quietly while my two friends got their reading done, and I just listened in. And I remember thinking, how does this woman know this stuff about my two friends? And it was quite, I was quite intrigued. She picked up on some things that, were quite not obvious. They were things that were going on in my friend's family. So there was no way that this fortune teller could have guessed. That's what I thought fortune tellers did. I thought they just guessed things. But yeah, so we all start off as non-believers, I do think. Our next insult comes from a name I cannot pronounce because it looks like it's not in English. I don't believe in the hokey pokey, but what the heck? So these are people that come for a reading or come into the shop, and they sort of say, I don't believe this stuff, but what the heck's? Of course, we only know that a reading is as intimate a process as cooking. Neither can be done with a jilted mind. Yeah, that's a very good example. Like reading cards is a bit like cooking a recipe or making a cake, say, because you have to put, concentration and ingredients and put it all together and then cook it a certain way. So it's the process. It's not just looking at it from the outside, looking at ingredients and saying, oh, well, that'll work. So it's really the analogy of cooking is actually quite a good one, because you're creating something. Also, like a painting or an artwork, you have the raw elements like the paint and the canvas, and then you put it all together, and then the talented artist can make a beautiful picture. Yes, I agree. A lot of people come to us saying they don't believe in this stuff, or they're skeptical, but really I think that's just fear. I get people that will say that to me, but in 2 minutes time they totally believe. So it's not really that they don't believe, it's more like they haven't experienced it. Our next insult comes from Svart. Lady says, hello, are you worshipping Satan? Me, no. Lady, I don't believe in cards and such BS. It's just a scam. Me, telling her about my work and basically just being a little angry because she just called me a scammer. Lady, so how much for a reading and when can we do it? So Svart says, such a good way to start a conversation. 1, act dumb. 2, insult a person. And 3, ask them for a reading. I know, right? Imagine going to a hairdresser, walking into a hairdresser shop and saying, hey, I think you're really crap. I don't think you've got any talent at all as a hairdresser. I don't even think your scissors are sharp, and I don't even think scissors work. Can you do me a reading? Can you do my hair? It's just... Or going to a doctor. I don't believe in doctors. I don't believe in medicine, and I think you're all quacks. I think you're all fake. Can you, examine me now? Yeah, it's not very good customer awareness. Continues. And the second type of annoying clients. Hey, I know everything about tarot, everything about magic. I use cards by myself, and I'm an amazing psychic. And I want a reading from you. Let's see what you can do to help me. Yes, I get these, I call those the experts. They come into my store and they suddenly are expert psychics themselves. Often they'll tell me about how amazing they are. And I often ask them this, where do you work from? Do you work from somewhere? Do you work from a shop? No, I just do it for myself and my friends. Okay, so you don't do it professionally, right? And then often they'll say something like, oh no, I don't believe in charging money for my gift. So yeah, I have had a few of those as well. The expert fools. Okay, the insults continue. Sheila says, I gave a client a Lenormand reading that said, no, he would not be a long-term boyfriend. And she told me that I was a negative reader because she had the opposite answer from real psychics. She called me back 3 times in the same night. Oh yes, I've had the ones that just cannot accept the answer of the cards as well. So yeah, I've had instances where someone will argue with me. If I'll say, for example, this guy's not the one for you, or it's not going to work out, or he's married. I remember I had a lady a few years ago who I looked at her card. She asked me about this guy that she was kind of in love with or seeing, and I could see in the cards that he was far away. And I said to her, he seems far away, he seems like distant, perhaps in a different country, which she then confirmed. And then I said, he seems to have a woman around him, which she then confirmed. I said, he might be married, which she then confirmed. Then I looked further and I could see he had children, 3 children, which she then confirmed. So he was overseas married with 3 children. And I said to her, I don't see him coming to you. I don't see him coming to Australia and being with you. And she got upset with me. And she told me that I was a fake and a liar. So yeah, and I don't know what ended up happening, but I'm pretty sure that he didn't emigrate to Australia and leave his wife and 3 children. I could not see that in the cards at all. 0. Amber says her insult is, I'm a reader too, so I know you're interpreting the cards wrong. Yes, occasionally I'll also get someone who either knows tarot, say tarot cards are pretty popular now and pretty common. And I'll often get someone who, feels like they can read them, or maybe they can read them, and they'll start trying to overread you, even though they've paid me to read for them. So what I often do in that case is I actually switch systems. I'll go into Lenormand or Gypsy cards or something that they cannot actually read. So then I confuse them. Those ones are like the backseat drivers. They're the ones that sit in the backseat of the car and tell the driver how to drive. So it doesn't often work very well. I want to share a recent insult that happened, I think, about 2 weeks ago. A young lady, mid-20s, with her, looked like a boyfriend or male friend, walked in my shop. "How much do you cost?" she said. And I told her my prices. And then she turned to him and she said, "Oh, I don't know if I should get like a reading or if I should just get a foot massage." And I said, "I think you should go and get a foot massage." Well, that was very therapeutic. So thanks everyone who contributed to that with their insults. I feel like we've all been insulted, and we can just take it on the chin and learn and grow and become more and more professional. This video was a good way for me to express frustrations with the general public, but I suppose the rewards I get from being a fortune teller is way more wonderful than any of these little petty insults. And also, often, like 99% of the people that insult us end up becoming clients of ours as well. That's what I found. I found people might come in with an insult, whether it's intended or not intended, and then they sort of open up and they sort of become open-minded. And as for those people who've not ever had a tarot reading, try to be open-minded. Try not to insult the person who's doing your cards. You may or may not fully understand everything that the card reading tells you. You may or may not agree with it. But if you kind of just be open-minded and see what lesson there is in the reading, you'll find that it is a benefit. I've learned from every single reading that I've gone to as a client myself. I've not always agreed with the reader, but I've always got something out of the reading. This is Paris Debono of the Fortune Teller Shop.